Hi there friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria, otherwise known as Lone Wolf Knits, and this is my little channel here on YouTube where I talk about all the things that I've been making. It is 2025, we are in a new year. It is January 12th and I have not finished anything. So I have some whips to show you, and I do have some spinning today actually that is finished, and I'm pretty excited about it, which was actually the reason why I decided to record today. That, and we have sun. It is so nice to have some of that here in the Pacific Northwest. It's been a gloomy couple of days, and if you don't know about this climate, we tend to be getting a lot of rain and darkness around this time of year. So I have been stuck indoors, but the past couple of days I have been able to be out in the garden actually. It's been warmer and sunnier. So with the remaining daylight that we have today, I thought I would just do a very short little update to show you what I've been working on. And if you have been here for a couple episodes, you know that my background has changed. I am in the middle of redoing my craft room. I need to cover up this space over here that's not looking so nice. It's more like my storage area. But I also have a whip cabinet back here now, and that is not even all of the whips that I have. There's a chair off camera that has even more whips on them. I want to do a video about my January and 2025 makes and plans for the year, like goals basically, and that is one of them. I want to finish some of the whips that I've had out for quite some time. I need to reclaim some needles, and I just really need to reduce the amount of whips that I have. For me personally, I am not a monogamous knitter. I never will be. I just like having multiple projects going at once, but there's a little too many over there, and I've had to start robbing needles from projects to work on other projects, and that just doesn't feel good. I want to finish all of my whips this year. I'm gonna say it. But again, I will have another video with all of my January 2025 goals. I don't know why I keep saying January, but we're in January, and I use this month usually as like a soft launch for my yearly goals. I'm not like a January 1st, it must start on the 1st kind of person. And so it's been on my mind a lot for what I want to do in 2025. So separate episode for that. Let's jump into some of my works in progress. So I can't show you the socks that I've been working on. I can't wait to show you those when I can, but they are a secret right now. I am getting pretty close to being done with them though, and so I figured I would tease the yarn a little bit. So this is Plucky Knitter feet yarn, and the color is called Fiona, and I am just in love with it right now. I'm really into this green. It's like almost a golden chartreuse, I would say. It comes across a little more olive green in person, but I don't know. It's literally radiating that like mossy green vibe, olivey, but it's very golden. I don't know. It's like giving me so much joy right now. So I am finishing up those socks, and they will be coming out, I believe, in February. So stay tuned there. I'll talk about them a little more as I can. But I'm just really into this color right now. For my other things that I'm going to show you, it's very pink. So I am feeling like I'm a little sick of pink now, and I'm transitioning to all the greens, all of the emeralds, and yeah, so I just wanted to tease this a little bit. I've been working with this color, and it's really been bringing me a lot of joy for some socks that I've been working on. My other whip that I wanted to talk about that is also bringing me a lot of joy is this test knit for Wool and Pine Designs. So this is called the Larkspur sweater. And as you can see, it's got these beautiful cables, and this is the front piece. Kind of hard to see at this point, but let me flip that end in there. But beautiful, like crisscrossing kind of chevron-y looking cables across this front panel here, and they go all the way down the front of the sweater. I'm just in love and in a groove with knitting this right now. I'm very excited to get to the end of it and work on something else, but like these cables are just bringing me so much joy. I love how they create a new pattern. It doesn't immediately read as cables. It's kind of like, ooh, what stitch is that? And then you're like, oh, it's 2x2 cables going in different directions. But love this texture and love this yarn that I'm using. So it is Fidalgo Artisan yarn. The color, the yarn is called Halo, which is a 50% alpaca and 50% wool. It's a fingering weight. The skeins are pretty generous though. They're like 440 yards for 100 grams. So it is a little bit, I would say, like a light fingering, and it is kind of, it's the needle size recommended is like 3 to 5 US. So when I swatched for this sweater, it calls for a fingering weight and a single ply, I believe, which I was not really into making a sweater in single ply. I know that some people can get away with that, but for me, I'm just rougher on my clothes and I need something a little more, but I did want to kind of replicate the super drapiness of a single ply. So I went with this yarn, and it is the softest cloud. The color, I don't know if I mentioned the color, is called 0322 Ice. And it definitely reads as that. It's like a beautiful off-white / gray. More white, but it definitely reads as gray, especially in this light right now. Like a very light gray. But I love it. And this is my first white sweater. I feel kind of brave doing that because I don't know how much wear I will actually get out of this, like in real life. I think it's going to be a really cool outfit and something that I would want to wear out of the house. It's got really beautiful sleeve details. But as far as like the practicality of me and white together wearing something in that color will be an adventure. I had bought this sweater or this yarn a couple years ago. It's been sitting in my stash, and I've just been like in a mode this year to really use my stash before I buy any new yarn. And it was just calling my name. I think using this in place of the single ply to kind of just make the fabric super drapey. I'm kind of hoping the alpaca stands in for that. Plus it's got a beautiful little halo. I mean, it's true to the name. It does have a little bit of a halo at the top there, as you can see. Well, that's just a piece of yarn, but it does have a bit of a halo if my camera is focusing correctly. So hopefully you can see that. But I really like the fabric that is coming from this. I did have to size down a needle size than what the pattern calls for because of, like I said, the light fingering nature of this yarn. But I'm really into it. I've been not zooming along, but like in a groove. It's definitely taking a little long to do this pattern, but it's not hard, and it is the kind of thing where once you know the charts, like you don't really have to look. It's just you're in a rhythm and you know what you need to do next. So I do really appreciate that about the pattern. It's not often that I can look away from charts, like charted knitting patterns. So that just speaks to kind of the rhythm and the ease of making this, even though it looks complex. And it is a little bit complex at the beginning. You're doing some short rows up here, but nothing that a little coffee knitting can't accomplish. So yeah, I'm busy working through that. And that test knit is due by February 14th, I believe. Like, I think it comes out on Valentine's Day. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I remember or seem to be remembering right now. And so I need to continue to work on that pretty religiously. So between those two patterns, which are both cable-y kind of patterns, I definitely have my coffee knitting or concentration knitting. I have enough of those kinds of projects going on right now. But I was feeling the call to do some brioche, and in my last video I showed the Dandelion Fields shawl. I made a mistake in that row, the very next row I did after that video. So I did start on it, but I need to rip back quite a bit. I'm at a point where I'm doing a lot of increasing for the very end of the shawl, and so I made a mistake and need to rip back a little bit. So I have that brioche project going on, which comparatively to the cables, I used to think brioche was also a coffee knitting kind of style project. And it is. It definitely takes some concentration, but there again is a rhythm to that too. So it almost feels like it's a little less engaging of a knitting project. And now with all of these things going on, I also shared last week, I'll show these really quickly. I haven't gotten super far on them, but my brioche socks, this is the Flying Foxtail pattern, by Stephen West. And these are brioche, and it's just knit purl on the back, but I'm just like doing a lot of very complex projects right now, and I'm wondering if I'm going to get to a point where all of a sudden stockinette or garter feels boring to me. But I'm hoping that the actual opposite of that will happen. I'm hoping that I'll finish all these complex projects and be really craving something that's just like very simple and easy. But I'm proud of myself for pushing out of my, like, I wouldn't call it basic knitting, but just my need for projects that are very simple or that don't have a lot of complexity around them. I feel like my 2024 set of patterns that I chose or gravitated towards, most of them were more basic or easy stitches, mindless knitting. That's a good probably theme for it, was like I wanted a lot of mindless knitting patterns last year. And then towards the very end of last year, I got into some more complex stuff, and it just kind of reawakened knitting for me. And I feel like I have gotten so much better as a knitter. I will save the rest of my 2024 I want to do a whole video on everything that I've made. Not my socks though, because I feel like that would just take way too long. I knit a lot of socks. I think I knit over 30 pairs this year. Maybe. I don't know. I have to go through all my stats, but I'll save that for another video. To wrap up this theme here, I feel like I'm just in a season of knitting right now where I want really complex things, and it's making me grow as a knitter, and I'm very happy about that. The last things that I have to show you are 3 hand spun skeins of yarn that I just finished spinning. So I will show them all at once, and then I'll go into details about each one of them. The whole pile is just making me so happy, and it is very pink. And if you know me, you know that I'm not usually a super pink person. I like pink. I have a couple of things in my closet that are pink, and I knit a whole pink sweater last year. So I don't know, it's the season of the pink for me right now, I guess. And I'm not usually drawn to this color, but obviously a lot of things that I have shown very recently have been pink, or like, you know, this salmon-y kind of color. So I guess it's just been in my bones right now. I've been wanting to work with this color a lot. And yeah, so here's my stack of 3 hand spun skeins. Let me get them showing you nice here. That's not a pill, that's like just part of the yarn on this end one here, but oh my gosh, I'm obsessed, you guys. I'm so obsessed with how these turned out. I could not be happier with the yarn that I've created here. So just trying to make sure my camera is getting all the delicious details. Let's talk about this one first. So this is my first one that I finished in 2025. So I spun this. The kind of neppy, super textured bits are this batt that I had from, I have the label right here, from, well, this isn't the right one. This isn't the right one either. Sorry for the noise. Maybe I did throw it out. I thought I saved it for this video. No matter. It's by Silly Sheep Designs, and it's a batt called Solar Storm. And I remember it was, I think it was a mini batt, so there's not a lot of yardage here. I haven't done any stats for this. I haven't even washed it yet. So it may even plump up a bit more. It's a little tightly spun here. As you can see, there's a couple little like bits that I need to deal with. In the washing, it should fluff up even more than it is right now. But just look at that. Like, I'm really obsessed. I really enjoyed spinning the single from the batt, and then the other ply that it is with is this sunsetty kind of fiber. It's by Rusty Spur Ranch and Creations. I'll show the label here. She has a really cute little logo. It will focus. Come on. Rusty Spur Ranch and Creations is the name of this yarn, or the fiber rather. It's a 100% Targhee, and it's hand-dyed top. I got this from from Fiber Fusion Northwest I think it was last year. And it doesn't have a color name on it, at least that I can see. So I was just calling it like cotton candy colored because it definitely looked like cotton candy. It was mostly obviously pink. You can see it a little more in the other skeins. So the only difference between all three of these skeins, they all share a basic, pinkish sherbety kind of color from this Rusty Spur Ranch. So I don't have any more of it to show you because it's all in these three skeins, but that is the main, like, I love how they kind of all coordinate there. So anyway, this was the first one, applied with that batt that I was talking about before called Solar Storm. And I just absolutely love how this came out. It's definitely an art yarn. And I'm excited to wash it and get some stats on what weight it is, and I'm curious like what I should do with it. I'm like so inspired by it. It's so not something that I would ever think I would have enjoyed spinning, and not something I would definitely pick it up in a yarn store, but I would definitely put it back and be like, these aren't really my colors. But it was such a joy to work with this, and I just feel like it's an art piece. So I don't know what pattern I should make with this, what I should do with it, if I should just look at it for the rest of its life. It's just so beautiful. I feel like it's an art piece. It's so fun. But if you have a pattern recommendation that you think would work good with this yarn, let me know in the comments. So yeah, first batt that I spun, and success. Like I really like all the little bits in here. It just feels like a painting, a textured painting. It does have some sparkly bits. I don't know if that's coming across in the camera, but so that was my first one. All of this was spun on my EEW 6, my electric spinner. And the Rusty Spur Creations was obviously all spun on the e-spinner on one bobbin. The rest though, so the next skein I'll show you. This one is another 2-ply, but the yellow in here is from my supported spindle. So that definitely has a lot more texture. When I was doing this one, when I was plying it up, I kind of thought I ruined it. And I don't know, it was just looking a little more green the yellow was looking a little more green to me, and I was like, oof, did I just make like a super watermelon-y looking skein? And it definitely yellowed up, I guess, later. Again, I haven't washed these. I've just been really excited and wanted to share them with you. So they're looking a little tight, and you can see like I don't know, they're definitely gonna look better after they're washed, but I was just too excited about them. It looks better from this direction, so we'll show it from that direction. But yeah, the yellow was all spindle spun, which was very special and nice. Those I do have the label for. Sorry if this is the worst ASMR, but this is from Silly Sheep Designs. So she just closed her shop. The rolags that I spun these from are called Queen Bee, and that is the yellow that is in here. Very aptly named colorway. And I'm super sad that she's not making fiber to sell anymore, because I really, all of these were from her, and I am not looking forward to the day when I run out of all of her beautiful rolags. But yeah, so I've been working through those on my supported spindles, and I have really enjoyed working with that as like a spinning method recently. It definitely takes longer though. So yeah, the yellow has kind of been sitting on my spindle for a little bit while I figured out what to apply it with. And one day I was just like, let's apply it with the pink. Who cares? Let's see what this comes to be. And it was not what I had envisioned in my mind. In my mind, I was like, ooh, it really would look like a sunset. And from back here, it kind of does. I think it does achieve that, like Florida sunset vibe. But I don't know, up close it looks a little different to me. You really start to see the differences between the two yarns, and it reads more like a contrasty Barbara pole. There's also like some bits of purple in here and bits of black, so it's, if it is a sunset, it's definitely kind of a stormy sunset. But I ended up really liking how this came out, and I was gonna gift this, and now all three of these I'm like, I can't part with them. So I don't really know what I'm gonna make, if I'm gonna use all three, but like in one project or in different projects. I don't really think I need this much pink yarn, but at the same time I just can't get rid of them because they're so beautiful. So the last one is another set of rolags from Silly Sheep Designs. This is obviously a more red one and like a berry colored. There's definitely some shades of berry in here, although it is mostly red and pink. Those rolags are called Lovesick, and I have the tag for those here. So as you can see, this is a blend of a bunch of different stuff, but comparatively, the Lovesick rolags were definitely the most sparkly out of everything. Like this one still is a little sparkly, but definitely not as much as this one. This one is just like out of this world, super sparkly. And it definitely feels very Valentine's Day to me. And maybe that's why I've been kind of drawn to these colors recently, like getting ready for Valentine's Day. I don't know. This one reminds me of like conversation hearts, like that candy that you get here in the US. And again, I'll just say it because, but these definitely have some crimping that will get a little more relaxed after it gets its bath. But I really love how this turned out, and really loved like kind of closing off the year with even more pink stuff, and well, I guess beginning the year with more pink stuff. I feel like this year for me is going to be a lot about just finding what brings me joy and doing that thing, whatever it is, and not really judging it too much. So I wanted to work with a lot of pinks and some super bright, cheerful stuff, especially since it's been so incredibly gray and bleak outside. And this has just like reinvigorated my vitamin D and my, I don't know, my knitting / spinning mojo. I also want to say that if you've been following along here, you know I've been struggling with an Achilles injury, and I still feel like something is not quite right with my Achilles, but I am out of the boot, at least for right now. And for this skiing, this very last one that I did last night, I applied it on the wheel, which was a first in terms of applying something on the wheel for me. And it was like my reintroduction back into the wheel after this Achilles injury where I couldn't really use my wheel. So it felt really good to get back into that, and I'm looking forward to completing some more projects soon for that. But I need to now focus on some of my knitting and these two projects that I've been working on. So it's forcing me to step away from spinning for the time being until I finish those things, but that is what's up with my January so far. So I will do, probably my next video that I do will be my 2024 year of knits. So stay tuned for that one if you'd like to watch that. I think I'm just going to go through everything that I've knit last year. I'm anxious to do one of those videos. I've really been enjoying people on YouTube showing everything that they've made the past year. So get psyched for mine. But thanks for joining me on my little 2025 beginning of January making session here on YouTube. Please, if you like this video, subscribe or leave a comment. That does really help, or even hit the little like button. I feel like such a weird person saying that, and I don't know, this journey of YouTube for me is new, and I'm not sure if it's like working or if I will really regret watching these videos back in like 2 years. But if you like my channel and you like what I'm doing, feel free to do those things and help me out a little bit. Yeah, other than that, I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me.